Okay, let's kick off this deep dive. Our mission today, well, is to unpack some really interesting source material you've shared with us. It's all about mastering American diphthongs.
That's right. And this material, it seems to get right to the heart of adding that natural flow, that confidence to American English speech.
Yeah, especially if you sometimes feel your speech is maybe a bit flat or choppy, like the source says.
Exactly. That flatness often comes from not quite nailing these vowel glides.
All right, let's unpack this then, jumping straight into the source material.
Yeah.
What is a diphthong in simple terms?
Well, think of it like a single vowel sound, but one that doesn't just sit still. It's a vowel sound that moves. It glides, yeah. From one position in your mouth to another. The source describes it as a sort of tiny journey for your tongue and lips, all within that one sound.
A tiny journey. I like that description. And this source material, it specifically targets three key sounds for us today. What are those main ones?
Yeah, it zeroes in on O as in go, a toe as in buy, and O as in now.
Go by now. Okay.
And the material makes a pretty strong case that mastering these specific glides is, well, really essential if you want to sound more native-like, more natural.
Absolutely. So we're going to break each of these down, look at the examples and the descriptions given right there in the source, and really see how they work in action.
It's all about understanding that movement, that glide, and then, practicing it until it becomes second nature, almost automatic.
So the source contrasts these moving sounds, diphthongs, with simpler sounds, monophthongs. What's the difference there, according to the material?
Right. A monophthong is more like what you might think of as a pure vowel sound. It stays put. It's made in one position in the mouth.
It stays put. Okay.
Yeah. The material gives examples of like the vowel sound in cat, that's A, or the sound in bit 2. When you say those, your mouth position is pretty much fixed while you make the sound.
Right. No journey happening there. And the diphthong is that journey, that glide. Yeah. The source seems to have a really great way of breaking down the actual movement for our target sounds.
It really does. For O, like in go, the material explains it starts kind of like an O sound.
Okay.
And then it smoothly glides, moves towards an ooh sound.
Yeah.
So you start with rounded lips and finish with them tighter, more closed. Ooh, ooh.
Oh, got it. What about ooh?
For O, like in buy, it says you begin with a more open sound, like opening wide.
Oh, wow.
And then you glide up towards an E sound. So think but blended smoothly together. He,
E, O. Okay, I can feel that upward movement. And the last one, E.
And for O, as in now, you start with that same open sound again, like at the doctor saying and then you move your mouth towards a rounded ooh shape. So gliding to ooh becomes ow.
E.
Yeah.
Wow. That simple breakdown where you start and where you end, that seems like a key insight from the source, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Understanding the start and end points is crucial. The material even suggests warming up your mouth just to feel that transition. Like maybe saying oh slowly and then blending it into go, just to physically feel that distinct movement, that rounding.
Makes sense. It's about building that physical muscle memory for the glide itself.
Exactly. Your mouth needs to learn the path.
Okay, let's dive into each of these three sounds properly then, starting with O. The source describes this one as a round, long, and smooth.
Yeah, and that description really captures the feeling, I think. The recommended action is starting with a nice round O shape with your lips, and then actively moving them towards that tighter ooh shape. You should really feel your lips changing position, pursing a bit at the end.
Okay. And the source gives us a bunch of good word examples to practice this O sound.
Words like go, no, home, show, phone, road, open, alone. Lots of common ones.
Let's try putting them into those example sentences the source provides.
Yeah.
Maybe focus on really feeling that glide, like, I have to go home.
Yeah, or no, I won't show it.
The phone is on the road. You can really hear and sort of feel that O starting round and then tightening into the ooh, as you say them.
Definitely. And a couple more from the source. I didn't know you were home.
She showed me the photo on her phone. The words know and photo and showed are great ones there to practice feeling that rounding and making sure you finish the glide.
They really emphasize the movement.
Okay, moving on to the A diphthong. The source calls this one bright and expressive, saying it starts low and rises.
Right. That brightness, I think, comes from the starting point, that open sound. And the expressiveness is in that clear rise, gliding up to that high, bright E sound at the end.
I-E. Okay. And word examples from the source for E.
Let's see. We have Buy, high, I, find, time, try, light, night. Again, very common words.
Putting those into the source's sentences should help anchor the sound, like, I'll try to find the light.
Or buy it if you like it.
I need some time. You can hear that lift.
Mm-hmm. And here's where the source gives a sentence that's sort of packed with a te for more intensive practice. I find it hard to decide why I cried last night.
Wow, yeah, that's got 5 of them. Find, I decide, why, cried, night. 6.
Exactly. And the key instruction from the source here is to specifically emphasize that gliding I sound as you say it.
That emphasis is a brilliant tip, actually. It probably helps make sure you're completing the whole glide, right, all the way to the E part.
Precisely. It stops it from maybe sounding like a flat ha or just a short I sound, which the source implies can be a common issue.
Gotcha. Okay, on to our third target sound, A, as in now.
Yeah.
How does the source describe this one? A rising, falling sound.
Yeah, that's the description. It sort of rises from that open ha position, mouth wide, tongue low, and then it kind of falls as your mouth rounds and tightens into that ooh shape.
Starting open and ending rounded. Ah, ooh.
Mm-hmm. The source gives us these word examples for AA. Now, how about out loud, down, around, crowd?
Lots of useful ones. Let's try the source's sentences to practice that specific glide. How do you know?
I'm going out now.
She was loud about it. You can feel that opening and rounding.
Yeah. And the slightly longer practice sentence from the source for A is, now that we're out, how about walking around town?
Now out. How about around town? Lots of practice there.
Saying these out loud, maybe slowly at first, like the source implies, really helps you feel that full ah to ooh journey.
What's really interesting, and the source highlights this really well, is how these sounds don't just exist on their own. They mix together naturally in everyday talk. The source uses a short dialogue example for this.
Oh yeah, the dialogue. Let's try reading it, maybe paying attention to where those diphthongs pop up.
Okay, I'll be A, you be B.
Sounds good.
A, did you go out last night?
B, yeah, I found a cool new place downtown.
A, how'd you find it?
B, I saw a sign and thought I'd try.
Nice. And listen to how those sounds just jump out when you're aware of them. Go out, that's O and A right together.
Yeah. Last night I found A, downtown A, find a, find a tell. Thought I'd try. Oh wait, that is don't an A. Right, try is assent.
Right, try is it really shows how they just blend in, doesn't it? The material makes it clear how getting those glides right is so important for the overall rhythm and flow of your speech.
Definitely. And the source also provides a whole paragraph to practice using all 3 sounds together, which is a great next step.
Okay, let's read that paragraph from the source.
Yeah.
And then maybe quickly point out where those glides are happening, like the source suggests.
Okay, you read it.
Now I know why I couldn't find the phone. I tried to call, but I was out all night. I showed them how to go around the crowd.
Nice. And breaking that down, you can really feel that movement on words like, well, now, all, how, find a phone. Mm-hmm.
Tried a phone. Out. Showed ow.
Pursued a phone. Crowd. It just demonstrates how frequently these moving sounds actually appear in normal speech.
It really does. So it's not just about knowing the individual sounds in isolation, is it? It's about practicing them in connected phrases and sentences so that glide becomes really natural, almost automatic.
Exactly. Making it second nature is the goal.
Okay, finally, the source wraps up with something it calls a quick-fire challenge. It sounds like a good way to drill the sounds rapidly.
Yeah, it's a smart technique. It basically takes the core words and sentences we've looked at and encourages you to say them faster, kind of building fluency and recall.
So for O, the quick-fire words were go, no, phone, home, alone.
Mm-hmm. For O, buy, I, try, find, night.
And for O, now, how, out loud, about.
And then it puts them into those short, punchy sentences for quick practice. I've got to go now.
How do I find it?
Try calling the phone at night. That rapid repetition, the source suggests, helps solidify those glides, maybe under a bit more pressure,
Makes perfect sense. Okay, amazing. So pulling it all together from this specific source material, it feels like we've gotten a really clear picture of what these American diphthongs are.
Yeah, especially focusing on those 3 essentials, O and A.
We've seen the crucial idea of the glide, that movement, the specific mouth shapes involved, and practiced them in words, sentences, and even connected speech examples.
And importantly, the material leaves you with some really practical, actionable steps for continuing the practice on your own.
Right, like recording yourself always useful, if maybe a bit uncomfortable at first.
Yeah. But essential to hear your own glides, plus actively listening for them and mimicking native speakers, maybe in shows or movies.
And working with that specific paragraph daily to really build the rhythm and the feel of the glide, it seems like it's all about that conscious practice leading to hopefully unconscious fluency down the line.
That's the idea. Consistent practice makes it automatic.
So this brings us to maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to mull over as you continue working on this.
Yep.
Based on what we've explored from the source, think about how focusing on what seems like a really small thing, that subtle movement, that tiny journey within just a single vowel sound, how that doesn't just change that one sound, but how it can potentially change the entire rhythm, the flow, and maybe even the overall perception of your entire speech.
It's true. That small detail can have surprisingly big impact on how natural you sound. Something to really think about.